9 lessons ahead. Today is the first one, and arguably the most fundamental, the one without which everything else simply doesn't work. A man's life is always about overcoming. The first and most important lesson goes like this. A man's life will always be filled with suffering, overcoming, stress, and difficulty. Always. This is not a temporary state that will someday end. This is not a crisis period after which long-awaited peace will finally arrive. This is the very nature of a man's life, constant battle, constant movement, constant challenge. This is not pessimism. This is honesty, and it is precisely from this honesty that real strength begins. The question is not whether difficulty will exist in your life. It will. That is guaranteed. The only question is this. What exactly will you choose to overcome, and where will it ultimately take you? Because that choice determines everything, controlled and uncontrolled chaos. Imagine 2 scenarios. In the first, you wake up every day without a clear goal, without direction, without any understanding of why you are even getting up. Life simply happens to you. Problems arrive on their own, circumstances shape you, and you merely react to whatever the day throws at you. This is uncontrolled chaos. You exist within it, but you don't manage it. You didn't choose this chaos, it chose you. In the second scenario, you choose your own chaos. You set a goal. You know where you want to be, in your body, your finances, your relationships, your work. You wake up every morning, look at the picture of the life you want to build, and do everything necessary to move toward it. This is controlled chaos. It's important to understand. Controlled chaos does not mean the absence of problems or a guarantee of an easy road. When you set a goal, you don't know in advance exactly what obstacles you'll face. You don't know what skills you'll need to develop, what people you'll encounter, what decisions you'll have to make, what you'll need to let go of, and what to hold on to with everything you have. You don't know where achieving one goal will take you next, because behind every completed goal, a bigger one opens up. That's how growth works, but you have direction. And that is precisely what transforms chaos from an enemy into fuel. It's what gives you a reason to endure, a reason to get up when it's hard, a reason to keep going when you want to quit everything. When you have chosen your own path, every obstacle on it becomes part of your story, not a random blow from fate. The easy path is an illusion. Many people choose what they think is the easy life. Don't set high goals. Why bother? Don't raise your standards. Good enough is fine. Don't step outside your comfort zone. Don't demand more from yourself. Just go with the flow. On the surface, this looks like a reasonable strategy. Less effort, less risk, less stress. But it's a deep illusion, because the suffering from that choice doesn't disappear. It simply changes form and accumulates slowly, almost imperceptibly, day after day, year after year. The person who chooses passivity doesn't escape pain. He simply chooses a different pain. The pain of unfulfilled potential, the pain of losing respect for himself, the pain of realizing that years are passing and life never became what it could have been. The body deteriorates because no one looked after it. Health fails because habits were weak. The financial situation becomes increasingly vulnerable because nothing solid was ever built. There is no respect, not from yourself, not from those close to you, not from the people around whom you'd want to stand tall. And sooner or later, life presents the bill. A moment arrives when you need to step up, solve something, pull your family or yourself out of a crisis, and there are no resources, not physical, not financial, not internal. And then you have to go with your hand outstretched, asking, depending on others, relying on someone else to carry you. Suffering will come regardless. That is the law. The only difference is this. Does your struggle lead you somewhere upward? Does it build something real? Does it make you stronger? Or does it simply and quietly destroy you from the inside, leaving nothing behind? Overcoming as a way of life. When you truly taste the effect of real overcoming for the first time, when you close a goal that seemed impossible, when you defeat yourself in a moment when every cell in your body was screaming, "Give up," when you feel that you are genuinely alive, you won't want to go back. That feeling becomes part of you. That is real life. Sharp, vivid, yours. But here is something else that's critical to understand. Overcoming is not a sprint and not a one-time act of heroism. It's not something you do once and then rest on your laurels. Everything worthwhile in life demands constant work, constant investment, and constant attention. The body you built doesn't stay with you automatically. It's daily work, daily decisions, daily effort to maintain and develop it. The business you once built doesn't sustain itself. It demands continuous movement, problem solving, and growth. When the problems in a business run out, that's not a victory. That's a warning sign. Because what has stopped growing has started. The same applies to relationships, reputation, and anything else that matters to you. Everything lives as long as you invest energy and intention into it. The moment you stop, decline begins. Slow, but inevitable. And here is the core of it all. If you yourself chose what to fight for, if these are your goals in your life, you enjoy both the process and the results. The battle stops being punishment and becomes meaning. You don't drag yourself through the day on willpower alone. You live this way because you can no longer live any other way. The alternative is the greatest motivator. One of the most common questions sounds like this. How do you not give up? How do you keep going when it's hard, when nothing is working for a long time, when your hands are dropping? The answer is simple, but it requires honesty with yourself. Clearly understand the alternative. In the moment when you don't want to get up, move, or do anything, stop and ask yourself an honest question. What will happen if I give up right now? Not today, not tomorrow. What will happen in a year, in 3, in 10 years? Who will I become if I choose surrender every time things get hard? What will I see when I look back? When you clearly see where the path of giving up leads, giving up becomes impossible. Not because you suddenly have endless motivation or your exhaustion disappears, but because you understand it in your bones. The alternative is always worse. Always. Without exception. That is real resilience. Not the absence of doubt, not a permanent emotional high, but a clear, cold understanding that there is no other path. That life will be a battle no matter what. And since that's the case, it's better to fight for something of your own, for the life you chose yourself. For the person you want to become. A man's life will always be overcoming and battle. The only question is where that overcoming leads you. Get up and keep going. Get up and keep going. Get up and keep going. Next lesson, 2 of 9. Let's go.